What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Bad Takes in Football. This is your host, Bad Takes. Really excited to hop into today's video, but before I do that, this is a new channel, which means you are new. Please subscribe, like, comment, tell me more about what you're looking for. Really excited to engage with you. I really hope you enjoy today's video. Trey Hendrickson was in Cincinnati and left Cincinnati as recently as, I believe, Monday evening. He arrived at his home in Jacksonville, Florida. Right? So he had conversations with the Cincinnati Bengals. The president Mike Brown, came out and was again also vocal about his displeasure with the contract negotiations with Trey Hendrickson. He called Trey Hendrickson difficult to work with. Could you imagine being Trey Hendrickson, leading this team in sacks, essentially being the entire defense, right? They have some other solid players. Like, I'll give Dax Hill credit. I'll give Logan Wilson credit. I think he's a great linebacker. But he essentially was their defense last year. And if you don't bring him in, if he does not play with the Bengals, think about this. Joe Burrow had an insane year last year, right? Everyone is still talking about Joe Burrow being a top 3 quarterback. He was on a team that didn't make the playoffs. The only reason they didn't make the playoffs was because of their defense. Their defense was so bad. Like, it was abysmal, right? I mean, as a Ravens fan, I watched Cincinnati lose 2 shootouts to the Ravens, and both were really at the fault of the defense. Joe Burrow has to play perfect, not near perfect. He has to play perfect for the Bengals to win these games. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You know, if you look at his stats from last year, they were off the charts, and it was because he had to. Now, the other aspect of why his stats were so good, again, was because the defense was so bad, and they needed to put up a lot of points in order to win. But at the same time, again, he had to play perfect. And so if you lose what was your entire defense last year in Trey Hendrickson, you're going from essentially last place defense to like last place defense. Like, the next team, behind them will be the Alabama Crimson Tide or the Georgia Bulldogs from a college perspective when it comes to rankings. Because not only did they not signed Trey Hendrickson, a lot of people aren't talking about this when it comes to the Trey Hendrickson situation, but I think this is important. Sam Hubbard retired last year for the Bengals. Last year was Sam Hubbard's last year. I still, and maybe this is just me as a Ravens fan, I'll just say this. I think Lamar Jackson retired Sam Hubbard, and I'll tell you why. If you go back to I believe it was the second game that the Bengals, no, sorry, it was the first game. The first game that the Bengals played the Ravens. It ended up going into overtime, but one of the most spectacular plays I've ever seen happen on a football field happened, and it was at the demise of Sam Hubbard. Lamar Jackson took a shotgun snap, dropped the ball immediately, fumbled it around, picked it up, was getting a pass rush right away, dodged one person, and then continued to stiff arm Sam Hubbard, not once, but twice, before he ran and jumped. Before he went out of bounds, he jumped and threw the ball up to Isaiah Likely in the end zone for a touchdown. Was the most amazing play in the world. The reason why I say it ended Sam Hubbard's career was, if you watch right after that all happens, Sam Hubbard is on his knees with his hands on his knees, and he's just looking up at the sky, and you could just tell he's saying, "What was that? What am I doing here? There is something different on this field, and it is not me." I truly believe that was the moment when Sam Hubbard decided it was time to go. Now, again, this isn't just about Sam Hubbard. I wanted to just quickly share that because, again, he was a great player for them. He performed at a high level, and he didn't get double-digit sacks by any means, but again, like, their pass rush was their entire defense, and so losing him is huge. Not to mention, right? The other aspect of this and why this is so important, Shemar Stewart also is holding out, right? Their first round pick, 17th pick overall, who's an edge rusher, by the way, was supposed to essentially replace Sam Hubbard, is not reporting to camp either. He's at Texas A&M practicing with them. That's unheard of, right? There's people out there saying Shemar Stewart might go back to college. Think about that. Has anyone ever heard of that? Like going back to college after being drafted by an NFL team? I definitely have not heard that. So you're talking about Sam Hubbard retiring, Trey Hendrickson holding out, and Shemar Stewart holding out. That's 3 edge rushers that are unaccounted for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I don't know how much more they can withstand not having them on the field. I'm thinking about this, and to me, I'm just thinking, what are you expecting from your defense, right? Like, what do you think your defense is going to be able to do without these players? Rookies, it's extremely vital that they're there at training camp. He's missed mandatory minicamp camp. He held in, right? He was there at the facility, but he wasn't practicing, right? Rookies need training camp more than anyone else. And the fact that Shemar Stewart is not there at training camp with them is a huge issue. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, tell me your takes. This is Bad Takes from Bad Takes in Football, signing out.